A part of the trials that we're seeing, and this is of great concern to all of us, is the fact that in a neighboring country, a country that we have a lot to do with, and that is England, neighboring across the pond, that the Islamophobic elements have reached such a level that tens of thousands of people are marching in over a dozen cities, physically harming Muslims, attacking masjids. Some of the masjids of my own friends of the Imam community have been attacked. Some of the people, our sisters, have had acid thrown on them. Hijabs have been pulled off. And this is happening in the wake of a very, very malicious, slandering Islamophobic campaign, full of lies, full of complete, blatant hypocrisy. And it is stirring up and fomenting a level of hatred that has hardly been seen, completely generating lies. There was a personal incident that occurred. Some child, unfortunately, or some children were attacked, and then they lied and they said a Muslim did this. Firstly, even if a Muslim does a crime, as we all know, crime happens from every community. A white person, a black person, a Muslim, an Asian. If one of them does it, doesn't mean everybody is guilty. But it turns out it wasn't a Muslim, it was another person, a Christian background, but it was too late. Lies were said, slander was said, and tens of thousands of people simultaneously, and this is being fomented by the far right, fomented by elected politicians who know this is a lie, but they want to gain their popularity. And this is the reality of all of these pseudo-nationalistic far-right regimes. And the fact of the matter is, what is happening in England might be happening other places as well. It's already begun in France and other places. Don't think that we are also immune. All of this goes back to another very awkward and fundamental question. It is a question I have raised and answered multiple times, and I will do it again. O Muslims, what exactly is our role in the lands that we live in? What exactly our role? How do we view ourselves with broader society? Do we view ourselves as being simply isolated, apolitical, not getting involved? Do we want to create false imaginary bubbles and pretend that we're going to live separately from the rest of society? We have a serious problem, most of us, and I say this as one of you, wallahi, I'm not trying to point fingers. We are all guilty of this. Most of us Muslims in the Western world, we are still struggling to come to terms with our identity over here. And we have multiple issues. I'll mention two of them. The first of them is the easier one to solve, but it is also a bigger problem, and that is apathy. Fact of the matter is, many Muslims living in Western lands simply do not care about the broader public. They just want the dunya, good jobs, career, housing, good education for kids. They're not interested in the broader public. They're not interested in society. They're not interested in their own countries. And this type of attitude is only going to be harmful to you and your own children. If you don't claim interest, if you don't claim ownership, if you're simply living separate, isolated lives, well then, when they attack the masjids, as is happening, what are you going to do then? And by the way, the populations and percentages in England is far higher than ours. In some of these cities, Muslims are 20, 30%, and the people are attacking the masjids. What do you think in America? We are less than 1%. What do you think is going to happen? In these cities in the UK, 1 out of 5 in some of these areas is Muslims, and still they're attacking hijabis, they're attacking bus driver. I saw yesterday, they literally attacked a bus driver, bearded bus driver, literally evil, vulgar thing, spitting on him. You don't think if you live isolated lives, they're going to continue to do this. So for your own sake, for the sake of your children, you cannot live isolationist lives. This apathy is simply not wise. It's going to harm you. This is your land and society. You have to contribute, be visible, show people who you are so that they don't fear you, they don't misunderstand you. If you are visible and proud to be Muslim, this is the best way to combat Islamophobia. This is one problem we have, apathy. The second problem, which is the more technical one, and I don't have time to go into a lot of detail, but I have said this multiple times, is the religious problem. The religious problem. What do I mean by the religious problem? There are interpretations of Islam. There are understandings of the religion that teach the people, teach our people, that they should not be a part of the broader society. They are taught that Islam teaches them, and then they have various things, either to hate the kuffar, their version of wala and bara, which is not the correct version, I've said this multiple times, or they are told it is haram to get involved in politics, or they are told do not protest, or they are told you cannot vote for the politicians, and so the name of religion is used. The first category is not religion, it's general apathy. And it's actually easier to solve, but of course general apathy is always laziness, right? The second category requires longer discussion. I don't have time in the khutbah to attack the misunderstandings religiously, but I have spoken about these so many times, especially in the last 10 months since Gaza has begun. I have spoken about the religious misunderstanding. There are trends in Islam, and I'm sorry to be blunt here, these are pseudo-fundamentalist, ultra-conservative trends. They find comfort in retreating to slogans. They find comfort in retreating to past issues, and they think forming a cult and forming their ultra-conservative communities and hating everybody else is the way forward. And I understand it appeals to some people, but solutions are not going to be found in simplistic slogans. Retreating to the past is not going to solve problems of today. And we have to be blunt here. Any interpretation of Islam that tells you you should not be involved in the greater public, it is a harmful interpretation and it is a wrong interpretation. Look around you. How can you not be involved? The Prophet ﷺ was involved. The Sahaba were involved. This, in the end of the day, is your society and land. And I understand there are questions that need to be raised. I understand it's not a simple black and white, but the solution is not to shut the door and lock it and go back into your living room. The solution is not to shut off the world around you. The solution is to be brave and confront these challenges. Have discussions in public. The solution is we have to understand, if we do not fight for our rights, nobody's going to fight for our rights. If we do not demonstrate visibly, this is our land, our society, our culture, if we do not get involved, a part of the process, well then, don't be surprised when they come trying to burn your masjid down, as is happening right now in multiple European countries. This is our land, and there's nothing wrong with claiming this. Any interpretation of Islam that says it is haram, I'm sorry, this is not the time to deconstruct theologically. You're simply incorrect. I'm telling you, you're incorrect, and let's have a dialogue. Bring your evidences, I'll bring mine. And this is a very minority opinion, but it is unfortunately a loud one. And because they're so harsh, anybody who doesn't agree is a kafir or is a deviant. Because they're so loud, people think it's a majority. No, wallahi, the majority of ulama, the majority of interpretations, the majority of strands of Islam, they all understand. Why would it be wrong to get involved in the process that you're a part of? In the end of the day, we are paying our taxes in this land. In the end of the day, we take all the perks that the government gives us. In the end of the day, if we're in a foreign land and we are mistreated, we pull our passport out. I am an American, you cannot mistreat me. All of this is fine. But then all of a sudden, just when it comes to voting, just when it comes to being a part of the process, oh, it is haram, brother and sister. No. Why is it that living here is not haram? Why is it that you paying your taxes is not haram? Why is it that you claiming your identity in everything that you do is permissible? And in the one aspect where you have the right to influence, where you have the right to be a part of the process, all of a sudden religious misunderstanding comes. No, it is high time we call it out and we say this is incorrect. I'm not doubting their sincerity, I'm not doubting their taqwa, but I am doubting their understanding of the classical tradition and their understanding of the modern world. Times are difficult, and when times get difficult, broader society likes to choose scapegoats. This is human nature, and we have been chosen as a scapegoat in Europe and in America. This is human nature, it's psychology. We have been chosen as the scapegoat. It is what it is. If you let that continue, and you do not stand up, and you do not fight back with every single fiber of your being, then it will get from bad to worse. World War II and what happened at that time is literally one generation away. The rounding up of the Japanese Americans, those people are still alive here. What Hitler did, it's something you can see historically. We cannot afford to repeat those mistakes. And unfortunately, the way the rhetoric is going, Europe now, Nazism is banned, but the same rhetoric when used against Muslims, politicians are doing it. Please, brothers and sisters, for the love of God and then the love of your children, wake up. You have Nazis in Congress in European lands, literally Nazis, but not against the Jewish people, against Muslims. You have literally people that are saying we should expel every single Muslim, and they're literally veiling their threats and saying if they're not going to toe the party line, well then, tough luck, we have to fight for survival. They're using language of genocide. Right now it's not explicit. If you don't stop it right now, if you don't stand up and realize it is our future at stake, then don't be surprised if 5, 10, 20 years things might get from bad to worse. Alhamdulillah, in America it's not yet that bad, but as I have said multiple times, one of our issues, our percentages are too small. We're only 1%, whereas in Europe 10, 15, 20%. If they can do it in Europe, well then, subhanAllah, we had better be at the forefront. So brothers and sisters, please understand, the world is a very difficult place. It's a very evil place. But our religion teaches us, the Quran teaches us, the Seerah teaches us. We get involved in the broader public. We speak the truth. We are visible. Our akhlaq must be the loudest form of da'wah. You have to show people the beauty of our faith. You cannot be ashamed to be Muslim. Everybody in your circle of friends needs to see the beauty of Islam in your actions. If every one of us did this, then all the propaganda of Fox News would fall on deaf ears. Every politician who foments hatred, your friends and colleagues would not even think of Islam if they know you to be a loving, peaceful, a person of good akhlaq. And again, going back to the seerah, why do you think the Prophet ﷺ for 40 years, why do you think he was called as-sadiq and al-amin? Why do you think the truthful one, the honest one? Because when people know you to be truthful, honest, compassionate, kind, all of a sudden the whole demographics changes, the whole reality changes. So I go back to where I began. Yes, there are many fitnas and trials. Yes, there's a lot of evil taking place. But every one of us has a role to play. And the primary role that we need to play in our circle of influence, amongst our colleagues and friends, the reputation of Islam needs to be beautiful. How will it be beautiful? Not by academic argumentation, not by deconstructing the theology of Christianity, not by debating. No, by smiling, and by being kind, and by being honest, and by showing the akhlaq of the Prophet ﷺ. Go back to this hadith. If you want to meet Allah on a clean slate, worship Allah from the bottom of your heart and treat people the way you want to be treated. This is the religion of Islam. Everything else is commentary. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to live up to these ideals.